Hey guys, welcome to Hook with Anime. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Let's begin. Chapter 5. Morning in the nation of Sadala. Minato and his team slept through the night under the watchful eye of Sadala's shinobi's forces, except for the general who returned back home, with their team taking guard duty through the night. Some of Minato's Anbu and Jiraiya himself tried talking to them to get any info out of them, but their counterparts remain quiet so as not spill any info they have, as the sun rose up and the team having then had breakfast afterwards. "Alright, we've been fed and watered, can you please take us to the village so that I can see my son?" Minato said. "We've been told to lead you there, but in regards to your son you must take that matter with the clan head Natsumi Uzumaki, as she has expressly forbidden you from doing so after what you've done to him." Sadala's shinobi said, as they all wore the same mask with Sadala's symbol in black on it, only their hair and chest being the only way to tell them apart. Minato tried to gather more info from the person but knew otherwise that it would get him nowhere. "Fine, is everyone ready? Kakashi, are you good?" Minato said, looking at Kakashi, as it was pointless calling him by his Anbu name as he removed his mask in front of unknown shinobi. "Yes sensei, I just need time to process what I heard last night, but I will do it when we get home," Kakashi said just as another Saiyan warrior with blue armor came to them. "Aikika Hatake, ma'am, I take it you're here to lead them to the village," the shinobi said, getting puzzled looks from their visitors. "Wait, did they just Hatake? There's Hatake's here," Snake said. "Yes and no. Yes, I am from the Hatake clan like Kakashi is, but no, there isn't any more Hatake's here. Nice to finally meet you, brother Kakashi," Aikika said, getting absolute shocks from everyone who was from the Leaf. "Okay, that can't be right. I know that my father and I are the only ones from our clan, so how can you be my sister?" Kakashi asked, causing Jiraiya and Minato to think back when Minato was giving his team and Jiraiya thinking of Tsukumo Hatake. "Wait a minute, now I remember your mother gave birth to twins, Kakashi, but one of them was born cursed, so they put her dia. How did you survive?" Jiraiya asked with shock. "You're lucky I've been authorized to answer that question on the condition that you would not harm the person who saved not only me but every other Saiyan that was born in Konoha. Agree?" Aikika said, getting nods from Minato, who wanted to know the answer. "Say it, Hokage. Hearing it is much better than giving a nod," she said. "Agreed, we will not harm the person who saved you and anyone else who was born as cursed in the village," Minato said. "Good. It was Koji Ito, CEO at Konoha's general, who saved me, but putting me to sleep that would fool even Tsunade herself. Then he would call us to pick up the baby and deliver him here to raised among us, and if they wanted to they can become warriors of our nation or any other career path," Aikika said, getting more shocks from the Leaf. "Koji? Then if I let Naruto die that night, he would have been here happy and safe," Minato said, as fell to the ground knowing that his son was safe and sound in this nation. If he went through with the law, as Koji would have faked his death. "Do you know someone by the name of Satsuki Uchiha? Is she here? Is she safe?" Weasel said with hope. "Now why would you ask that specific question? I'm most likely a Uchiha from the hair, and from that question only 3 people would ask that, and your voice is young, so I would have to say Itachi Uchiha. Am I correct? Remove your mask and I'll give you your answer," Aikika said, getting Weasel to remove his mask to show he really was Itachi, just so that he would get his answer. "Oh my, I'm right. In that case the answer is yes, she is alive and well and is at the Warriors Academy with Naruto and her friends," Aikika said, as Weasel showed a smile, as he nor his parents never got over the death of his sister but kept it hidden for Sasuke. "Alright then, if you want more answers you'll get them at the village. Now then, follow me. It will take 3 days, maybe 2 if you want to hurry," Aikika said, as she hovered into the direction towards the village. "We'll travel through the night if we have to," Minato said. "Or we could ask Gamabunta to take us there quicker," Jiraiya said, getting Minato to think for a minute. Afterwards he went through several hand signs. "Summoning jutsu," he said, as he slammed his hand on the ground, causing a great amount of smoke to appear, which later dispelled, revealing the Toad Chief himself. "Minato, my boy, why did you summon me here? Where is here anyhow? I don't recognize any landmarks," Gamabunta said, as Minato went on one knee, knowing that what he was about to request would likely anger the Toad Chief. "Forgive me, Toad Chief Gamabunta, but we are in the nation of Sadala looking for my son who is here, and I need your help. I sort of need your help, me and my team, to get to their village quickly, as it would take days to get there." Minato said as Gamabunta gave him a glare that said, "Are you serious?" But then his eyes turned to the floating individual in front of him. "And who are you, lady? Who from the looks of it is floating in front of me? You must be strong if you can do that," Gamabunta said. "Actually this just basic that is taught at the academy for the first years, and my name is Aikika Hatake and I'm an officer in Sadala's army," she said, getting shocks from the Leaf Shinobi as the power of flight was a basic ability to them. "Very well Minato, I let your team on my back just this once, it's nice to go somewhere new," Gamabunta said as Minato thanked him, as his team and himself were on his back. "Alright then, follow me," Aikika said as she flew towards the village with the Toad Chief following her. Several hours later, the village is just past the mountain wall. Up front there's an entrance leading into the village in the mountain, she said. "Sorry but I don't think that I'll fit through that. I just hop on top of the mountain so that I can see where I can land," Gamabunta said as he landed on top of the mountain. Aikika would have stopped him but the toad made a good point about being too big for the tunnel. "Damn, now that's a hidden village. The whole place is surrounded by the mountains hiding it from everywhere else. Nice. How old is the village anyway?" Gamabunta said as he saw that there was hundreds of buildings littered across the place with a nice lake in the center. Gamabunta could also see several large buildings with clan symbols that he and the Leaf recognized, which shocked them. "Wait a minute, how many Uchihas, Hyugas, Uzumakis, and is that the Senjus? How many people do you have?" Jiraiya said as seeing the clan symbols he knew instantly that the Shinobis Sadala had were strong, especially as the Senju had wood style. The answer to the toad is that the village is about over 300 years old. The village is a safe place for the Saiyan race to grow or anyone else looking for a safe haven. As for the other question, you would find out at the council meeting. And finally, the lake is fresh water, so you should be fine to land there, great Toad Chief, Aikika said as Gamabunta took a final hop towards the lake, but not before thanking her for showing respect. As he landed, pillars of wood emerged from the lake trapping the giant toad as several water dragons also emerged, but they just stood around him waiting for something. "What the hell? This ain't good Minato, they got good," Gamabunta said as he couldn't move. "Ichika, what's the meaning of this? I thought we would come here under peace," Minato yelled. "The Toad Chief must have spooked our shinobi forces by his landing. Don't worry, I got this. Shinobi of Sadala, stand down, they are here under a banner of peace offered by our general." As soon as she said that, the water dragons dispersed and the wooden pillars were gone, freeing the Toad Chief. A single shinobi appeared in front of Gamabunta. "Our apologizes, great Toad Chief, but your arrival spooked us," he said as he disappeared. "I gotta say, they know how to show respect, and I can understand. I did just appear out of nowhere. Minato, do you need anything else from me?" he said. "No Gamabunta, and I thank you for the lift. I'll make sure to send you a couple of barrels of sake as a thank you," Minato said as Gamabunta nodded before dispelling himself back to Toad Mountain as the team jumped off him, landing on the lake. Minato looked around a bit looking for the Uzumaki symbol and headed towards it, hoping to find Naruto. Kami, damn it, he was told that he had to speak to Natsumi first. I get it, they had a plan. Aikika thinking to herself, who teleported in front of them, stopping them. "Please move, I need to see my son," Minato said with anger. "Okay, two things first. First, your son is at the academy now training, and second, you need to ask Natsumi for permission. She is his legal guardian since you banished him, or have you forgotten that?" Aikika said, making Minato drop his head in shame. "I haven't forgotten," he said as a redheaded appeared next to Aikika, bringing confusion to the Leaf. "Kushina, what are you doing?" "Natsumi, so it is true you and the other Uzumakis did survive when Uzushiobukar fell?" Minato said as he looked at her, but he only saw anger in her eyes when she stared back before looking at Jiraiya, who was sweating bullets. "Hi Natsumi. Nice to see you after so long. How are things doing for you?" Jiraiya said, trying his best to set her off. "Doing much better ever since Sadala rescued us from the assault from Kumo, Iwa and Kiri on our homeland. Even have a son named after my brother who sacrificed himself so that we could get here. Speak of the war, where the bloody hell was Konoha? Don't we have an alliance, or was my sister all you wanted just so that you can have your Preicous weapon?" Nat yelled, which got the Leaf trembling in fear as her chains came out of her back, only to be stopped by Minato, who appeared in front of her. "Please, We're sorry we couldn't be there to help you, but Iwa and Kumo stalled us greatly, and by the time we did make it, it was too late, and for that we apologize. Minato said as he and his team bowed in front of her, causing her reconsider her stance on them. Your luck, Sadala's intelligence is on your side on that matter. As for Naruto, the general told me why you banished him, so here's a question for yous: why did yous neglect him at all? Nat said with anger. Me and Kushina decided it was for the best that we ignored him, so that when the time came to banish him he would take much easier, as he would assume that we never loved him at all, making it easier for him to move on with his life. We hated what we had to do, but it was for the best. Minato said as tears fell down his face. Oh, for the love of Kami, if what you are saying is true, then I would permit entry into our compounds to prove it, and if what you say is true, then I let you see Naruto, but know this: he will kick your ass. So my advice before that happens is be a man and take the beatings. Speaking of beatings, Nat said as she turned to Jiraiya as put her hands into fists while moving towards him. Time for someone to his punishment for the spying in the hot springs back at Uzumaki, she said. Just as Jiraiya was about to run away, he was restrained by his teammates. What the hell, why are yous helping here? He said. Oh, let's just say that this is for all times you've been caught spying on the ladies and getting away from. Snake Anbu said, also getting a nod from Eagle. Just as Jiraiya turned to face Nat, hoping to talk his way out of it, it was too late, as Nat punched him in the family crowns very hard and getting a girl scream from him in return as he fell into the lake. Don't worry about him, as soon as he gets out of the lake our shinobi will take him to our compound. Follow me. Nat said, getting nods from everyone. As they made their way to the compound, they saw several Hyugas walk past them with no marks on their foreheads. I take it there's a main branch and a side branch here too? Eagle asked. No, there is only one branch of the clan, and that is the clan itself. They came to Sadala during the clan wars when one of them had a Saiyan baby with them, and Sadala offered them a place to call home without fear of that controlling mark that your clan does. As for the others, they faked their deaths and came here to live in peace away from all that conflict. Nat said as they made their way into the compound and into the hall, where there was a pedestal and an orb in the middle. If what you say is true, Minato, then place your hand on the orb and think back on those memories, Nat said as she gestured to the orb. What is it? Minato asked. It uses the hidden mist jutsu to show what memories is viewed by the person who places his hand on the orb. Naruto did it, and from it we saw how he was banished to Kushina, slapping him, and the neglect he suffered from you. From those memories we of the Uzumaki clan adopted Naruto and gave him back his Uzumaki name, and we also banished Kushina from our clan for forgetting what it means to be a Uzumaki. Nat said, getting a shocked look from Minato. Why would you do that? Isn't Kushina the princess of Uzumaki and head of the clan? Minato said, getting laughs from the rest of the Uzumakis who were there. Uzumaki doesn't have a monarch, it never did. As for the princess, do you call your daughter princess at times? Nat said as Minato realized what that meant, as he sometimes would call Natsumi his princess. Good, you realize that, and as for the head of the clan, that title is passed to me from our brother and approved by our clansmen. You see, to be the head of our clan you need to be selected and voted by the clan for that title. As for Kushina, the moment she was chosen to be the Jinchuriki of the Fox, she lost the right to be selected as clan head, as a Jinchuriki belongs to the village. It's cruel what they do to Jinchurikis. Nat said, feeling sad at the end of it. As for you claiming that the Namikaze are a clan is laughable, Minato. Nat was interrupted. Geez Nat, go easy on the Hokage, at least let's see the memories before you tear him up, Mais said as walked up to her. Fine, Nat said as she gestured Minato to the pedestal. Don't do it, kid, we don't know what they say is true, all we know that orb could make you their slave, Jiraiya said as came behind Mais. Minato thought long and hard, but he had to know if Naruto was safe and if Obito was alive. Jiraiya, I'm doing this, there must be a reason why they showed us their village, let alone their nation, they want something from us. Minato said as he placed his hand on the orb and thought back to when Kushina and Minato decided to ignore Naruto. Mist immediately started spewing out from orb as Minato remembered what happened. Flashback. Minato, Jiraiya and Kushina were in the study. Looks of shame began to cross their faces. Is there no other way? Kushina said. There isn't, everyone knows what Naruto is, which is way the moment Jiraiya finds a safe place for him he will be banished and his death faked so that no one would come looking for him just to use him against the hidden leaf. he will be safe and sound away from this cruel world of ours. Minato said as tears began to fill up. But do we have to ignore my little maelstrom till then? I was raised to always love family, and what I'm about to do will break everything that I was raised to believe. If I do that, then I'm no longer an Uzumaki. Kushina said as she cried, as she embraced Minato, who cried as well. I'll start looking for that safe place. The moment I do, we'll banish him, Jiraiya said as a single tear fell down his face. Flashback ends. Minato then remembered the moment before Naruto was banished. Flashback. Jiraiya found a place for Naruto. Now comes the hard part. Are you ready, Kushina? Minato said as he looked at Kushina. Yes, I'm ready. Natsumi is already in the hall waiting for us, and Naruto, she doesn't know about the plan, does she? Kushina said. I'm afraid not. Ever since Danzo talked to her about being a Jinchuriki and how the leaf must be the strongest sign, then she only views strength as the only way to peace. Not only that, but she views Naruto as a disgrace and a monster. Minato said with anger. If Naruto decides to question us on why he's being banished or clan head, which neither of us are because of how low our numbers are, oh, I'll slap him, she said as she tried her hardest not to cry there and now. Flashback ends. He then remembered what happened after that meeting. Flashback. Kushina and Minato were in the study in each other's arms, Kushina crying heavy and loud. What kind of mother am I? For slapping her, children, Kushina said while crying. You did what you had to. Now it's up to Jiraiya now, Minato said as he couldn't contain himself and let the tears fall down as well. Flashback ends. Everyone was shocked at what they saw, the lengths that Minato and Kushina would go to protect Naruto. As everyone took a moment to process what they saw, someone walked up to Minato, who turned to face them and was shocked to see who it was. You did all that, the neglect, the banishment, and mom slapping me to protect me, Naruto said. Son, you're alive, Minato said with his hand still on the orb, playing one last memory. It was of them playing in the backyard as a family. As Minato moved his hand and made his way to Naruto, Naruto instead decided to kick him in the stomach, and as Minato was bent over from that kick, Naruto did a spinning motion and landed another kick into Minato's face, sending him straight into Jiraiya's arms, who caught, but the force of the catch sent back several feet. Damn kid, hell of a kick. Not surprised you did that, Jiraiya said as he gently laid Minato on the floor as Eagle came up to perform medical ninjutsu. Naruto, what are you doing here? You should be at the academy, Nat said. I forgot my homework and the academy doesn't start yet, so when I came back to get it I saw Father come into the compound with you, so I snuck in to see what was going on, Naruto said. If you told me what the plan was, it would they've been made easier, you idiot, Naruto yelling at Minato and Jiraiya. Naruto, get your homework and head back to the academy, but before you enter the classroom take a couple of deep breaths, okay, Nat said. Oh god, hell of a kick. I'm sorry son, Minato said as he stood back up. Naruto ignored his father and instead made his way to get his homework instead. Easy kid, remember the last time you took a blow like that was when I was training you, Jiraiya said as he helped Minato up. Right then, now that is over, and seeing I was expecting you about 2 days from, I have someone take your team to an inn so they can rest till then and for you to recover. Mais said as several shinobi appeared around the team showing them where to go. Not yet, Jiraiya, here, take this and throw it when you get to the inn. Okay, I got to let Kushina know about this, Minato said as he gave Jiraiya one of his kunai as he teleported away. Okay, now where are the hot springs? Jiraiya said with a perverted grin, only have a dozen blades at his throat. Just remember, Toad Sage, we're watching you, Sadala's shinobi said. At Konoha, in the Hokage residence, Minato teleported into the hall. He collapsed on the floor in front of Kushina, who was doing a bit of cleaning. Minato, sweetie, what happened? Shikaku only said that you were gone to explore some hidden nation, Kushina said as she lifted Minato up. I found him, Kushina. I found Naruto, he said as Kushina was filled with shock and accidentally dropped him. Oh sorry sweetie, is Naruto fine? She said as she dragged him to the living room where he saw Makoto Uchiha, who was confused on what was going on. Yes, Naruto is safe and sound. Turns out that Sadala is some kind of safe haven for anyone wanting to hide. Damn Naruto, you some kick. Minato said as he got puzzled looks. Listen, Sadala is a nation full of people like Naruto. Koji Ito, head of Konoha General, has faking the deaths of cursed infants when in truth he's been putting them to sleep so that Sadala would send someone to come and collect. He's been doing it for years, hell even Kakashi's twin sister is there. Minato said as he sat down as the ladies were in shock in at hearing the news. Hokage, please tell me, I know you just got ba. Makoto was interrupted by Minato. Yes Makoto, your daughter Satsuki Uchiha is alive and well, and so are the 80 Uzumakis they saved from Uzushiogakure, whose numbers are at 100, they're being led by your sister Kushina. Natsumi Uzumaki. Chapter 6. Hokage Residence. Minato was sitting in the living room with Kushina and Makoto as everyone needed to sit down after what Minato just said about Makoto's daughter, Satsuki, being alive, as were the Uzumakis and Naruto. Minato, please tell me, is Naruto safe? Kushina said. Yes, Naruto is alive and it was our son who kicked me twice. Don't blame him after what we did, Minato said as he rubbed his cheek that was swollen. And what Satsuki, is she safe and sound too? Makoto said. All I know is that she is alive and well at the Warriors Academy with Naruto and her friends, Minato said, getting a sigh of relief from Makoto. Wait, did you say Warriors Academy? Is that different than the academy here? Kushina said. It could be, they didn't share that much about. Kushina, go to council chambers, I'll tell Shikaku to arrange a council meeting. Sadala's arranging an alliance with us. Their plan was to capture Jiraiya to arrange one, but since I arrived that changes things, from my team has seen everything has changed. Minato said as he got up and teleported away, leaving the women alone, but only for a moment as Makoto got up. Kushina, thank you for the tea, but I got to see Fugaku about this and tell him our daughter is alive. Hopefully I'll ask him to bring me to the meeting. Makoto said, getting a nod from Kushina. Hokage's office. Shikaku was lazing around the office doing nothing about from issuing orders to Shinobi and not doing the paperwork as that requires Minato's signature. Just as he was about to put his feet up, Minato teleported in front of him. Shikaku, order a council meeting immediately. Seriously, you didn't do any paperwork at all? Minato said as saw the stacks of paperwork in front of him. What a drag, I was just getting comfortable. The paperwork needed your signature, not mine, Shikaku said as he got up and went about setting up the meeting and just smiled as Minato whispered, lazy bastard. Minato, knowing it would take a while for the meeting to get underway, went back to his desk and did the one thing he hated, which was paperwork, but not before making 2 shadow clones to help with it, as well as ordering Anbu to bring Koji Ito and Lady Tsunade to the council meeting. Council meeting. The council chambers is divided into 3 sections. The right for the Shinobi clan heads, which was composed of Akamichi, Aburame, Hyuga, Inuzuka, Nara, Uchiha, Yamanaka, while the left was comprised of the civilian side, which only had 3, which were Haruno, Sato and Tanaka, while the middle section was for the Hokage and the elders. All right, is everyone seated? Minato said, getting nods from everyone. Why is your and Fugaku wives doing here, and why is Koji Ito and Lady Tsunade doing here as well? This is a council meeting, Danzo said. I asked Kushina and Lady Tsunade to be here because it involves them. As for Makoto, I can only guess that she is here because she told Fugaku about their daughter being alive when I told her early today. Am I correct? Minato said, getting a nod from the both of them. As for Koji Ito, it would seem that Koji has been in contact with another village and has been sending them our infants that were supposed to have died when they are born. Is that correct, Koji Ito? Minato said, getting shocks that turned into anger at Koji. Koji, how could you betray us? Haruno said. They been sending our infants to another village, Sato said. They were supposed to be dead. I'm sorry, what did you just say, Hokage? Tanaka said, confusing as were the other civilians as well, except for the shinobi who heard every word that came out of Minato's mouth. Every time a cursed child is born and when Koji is assigned to put them sleep forever, he just makes sure it's enough to fool everyone else, and then he contacts Sadala, who then sends someone to retrieve the infant. Am I correct, Koji? Minato said with a smile. Well, looks like the jig is up then, and from that smile of yours you not mad about it, Hokage, Koji said. Wait a minute, Koji, you never killed any of those infants, Tsunade said, as she never wanted the position to head of the hospital, as it would mean it would be her job to end the life of a cursed child when they are born. Of course not, you fool. I'm a doctor, not a monster. Hell, even my predecessor was doing this before I took over, but it was difficult to get in contact with Sadala at the time. Koji said, getting both a shock and angry look from Tsunade for the full comment. This, Sadala, has been mentioned twice, and from how you said it I take it it's a nation, Shikaku said. Yes, this nation was formed over 300 years ago if what they claim is true, and has been taking any refugees and not just cursed children ever since, Minato said. Excuse me Hokage, can you please call them Saiyans? That's what they are actually called, and it's way less offensive than cursed, Koji said. Why should we? They are cursed seeing that they have no chakra, no powers, can change in murderous beasts when a full moon is shown, Homura said. Also Hokage, how did you come across this nation anyhow? I've never heard of it and I don't anyone has either, Kaharu said. Minato took a deep breath. Know what he was about to say would be difficult to do. Ever since our son Naruto was born cursed, or as Koji and several of that nation residents like to call themselves Saiyans. Myself, Kushina and Jiraiya knew that one day Naruto would either been killed by the law or banished from this nation to avoid being used against Konoha, and try as we did Naruto couldn't use any techniques we taught him, so we decided to find a safe place for him to live out the rest of his life in peace, and for that to happen we had to ignore him so that he wouldn't have any attachments to us when we did banish him and when Naruto questioned us on that matter. Minato stopped as he knew it wouldn't be easy for him. I slapped him in anger. It was the hardest thing I ever did and I wished I never had to do that, but I had to so that Naruto would move on, Kushina said, letting a tear fall down. Kushina, you actually did that, Tsume said as she knew that would have been the hardest thing a mother had to do. Yes I did and I hate myself for that, Kushina said. While Naruto was banished he disappeared after a day. Even the Anbu I asked to look after him till Jiraiya got to him were knocked out, and by the time they woke up he was gone. After Jiraiya came to me asking where Naruto was, did I ask him to go find him, but he disappeared of the map, and the only thing that Jiraiya found was 2 pieces of information that had a low chance of finding him. The first was seeing 2 cursed or Saiyan adults holding an infant and then flying away like the current Tsuchikage does. Minato stopped as people began laughing at what he said. Flying them, ha ha ha, Sato said. That's a good one Hokage, ha ha ha, Tanaka said. Would you stop laughing? He isn't lying, you morons, Haruno said as her other counselors stopped laughing as they saw their shinobi counter not laughing one bit. How did you know I wasn't lying, Haruno? Minato asked. Oh please, I do the trading for the village, have a retired shinobi for a husband, live in a shinobi village and have trying to teach my daughter how to tell if someone is lying. Haruno said, getting some smiles from the shinobi side. Are you telling us that these Saiyans can fly, Minato? Danzo said. Yes, and where they were flying to was away from Earth Country heading east. The next bit of info was a merchant spotting an unknown group of Anbu leaving Kiri with a symbol on their masks heading south near east, while also saying, the intel they got has to reported back to Sadala at once. I would like to ask the elders in the room, especially Danzo, what he would do with this information. Minato stopped so that the elders would answer the question. Any information, not matter how small, must be investigated. I take it that's how you found the nation in the small place, Danzo said, getting nods from Kaharu and Homaru. Yes, I sent Jiraiya to investigate. He managed to acquire a map from possible one of the merchants that trades from the nation. Minato said as he clapped his hands, bringing 2 Anbu into the room, who he then ordered to bring in another desk with the world map on it. As you can see, this is the world map with all the nations on it except Sadala's, as they managed to hide themselves very well. And here is the map that is the nation of Sadala. Minato said as he placed the map of Sadala next to world map and where it was, getting slight MMs everyone. How sure are you on the size of the nation, Minato? Danzo said. Jiraiya summoned Gamabunta, the Toad Chief, to take us their village, who managed to make it after several hours of hopping. All it takes for Gamabunta to travel the distance of our nation is just 1 hour, and remember it took him several hours to reach their village. Minato said as the shocks were finally starting to come out. How did no one notice that size of land mass? I mean, you can easily fit several great nations into it, Haruno asked, getting similar responses from everyone else as well. That is the same thing I said as well when I first saw it. Afterwards Jiraiya threw one of my kunai to signal me and my team there to investigate, but we immediately had to hide as a patrol came right over us, and what was worse was that this patrol was full of 30 Saiyans that were flying. Minato said as people began to realize that maybe there was more to the curse than being a giant monkey. After they left we traveled along the desert region along the forest to the center hoping it was the best chance of find their village, but as night fell and as we stopped for the night we saw nearly 70 giant apes in the desert. Minato stopped as he saw the look of fears in everyone's eyes. One giant ape is troublesome but 70 that's a damn nightmare. How did you survive? Shikaku said. Easily, actually the people there use the desert or the barren wasteland to not train techniques but to also control the giant ape form as well. Minato said as everyone began to process the horror of that idea. Please tell me that's not possible, Sato said as fear began to hold of him. I'm afraid it is possible, as I and the rest of the team heard several of them saying they got it, showing they got complete control over the giant ape form. Are you saying that there's another nation several times larger than our own, with hundreds of cursed people who can fly and that they can control the giant ape forms? Danzo said as he both liked that idea and feared it. Yes, just as I was about to command the team to go deeper into the forest I meet their general and several of their shinobis. The general managed to stop the blast from one of the apes who nearly lost control with her own hand like it was nothing. Minato stopped. Oh, you meet General Mais Uchiha, heard she's nice, Koji said getting shocks from everyone. What a minute, did you say Mais Uchiha? A Uchiha in another nation, and how did she manage to stop that blast? Koharu said. I don't know how she did that, but they have not only the Uchihas but also Hyugas, Senjus and Uzumaki survivors from Uzushiogakure as well, and our son Naruto as well, Minato said as everyone stopped breathing, not from Naruto part but from the clans that Minato said were there. We know this as we saw several large buildings with clan symbol on them. Not only that, but the team saw several Hyugas without the branch seal on them. Apparently they left clan during the clan wars to get away from that seal in the first place, and Sadala welcomed them when one their own was out looking for cursed infants at the time, and as soon as Gamabunta landed on their lake he was trapped with wood style and several water dragons. Minato said as everyone trying to process that part. They have actually Senjus there, Tsunade said as began to realize she had more family out there. Yes they do, and the Uzumakis are being led by Kushina's older sister Natsumi Uzumaki, who adopted Naruto in the clan. Minato said, so we have a very large nation who possess cursed people or Saiyans who can fly, who can control their giant ape forms, they Uchihas, Hyugas, Senjus and Uzumakis, and who knows what else. This can't be good. We can't force them to bend to our will, and we can't send anyone from our Hyuga's clan to put the seal on them knowing full well that the Uzumakis will just remove them easily. It might be in our best option to form an alliance then. Danzo said, that's why they leaked the information on where they are to Jiraiya on the hopes they would capture him to arrange an alliance with us, seeing that Obito Uchiha is alive. Minato said with sadness, but everyone was shocked at what he said. Wait a moment, what do you mean Obito is alive? He died during near the end of the war, Fugaku said with shock. No, he was spotted by some passing Sadala's warriors, that's what they called themselves, as they were carrying an infant with them. They saw Obito trying to save Rin when she sacrificed herself by impaling on Kakashi's Chidori. After seeing something like that, Obito probably definitely believes that Kakashi did that on purpose and I let him live for some reason, and Obito would most likely. Minato was interrupted by Fugaku, who knew what he was going to say. He would most likely go down Madara Uchiha's path of hatred, and there's a good chance that he might be responsible for the release of the fox all those years ago. Fugaku said with sadness, know that it was his clan who caused the Nine Tails rampage. Normally I would tend to challenge such shaky intel, especially from another nation, but seeing that we didn't recover the body, there is a chance that he is alive. And not only that, but I believe I may know why they're requesting an alliance with us, Danzo said, getting eye on him. It has not only come to our Hokage's attention but mine as well that the Mizukage is letting his power go to his head, spouting nonsense that bloodline is evil and whatnot. Not only but the change is too quick to it to be madness, which leaves some sort of genjutsu, but seeing that the Mizukage is also a Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, placing a genjutsu on such a person is extremely difficult for even the top genjutsu masters. Except for one who managed to control the Nine Tails, who is none other than Madara Uchiha, and if I were living next to so to be madman with power of a nation, I would find a way to remove that genjutsu, but I don't know how to, but I do know of one village that might have it. Danzo stopped, letting everyone figure it out. The hidden leaf with the Sharingan and the clan who possess it, Nara said. Exactly. Seeing that this nation has managed to remain hidden for so long and the Uchihas they probably aren't as skilled with their Sharingan as we are. That is why they are wanting an alliance with us for the secrets our Uchiha possess. They definitely have more firepower than us and more land mass to move around, but we do have the advantage when it comes to setting up this alliance in our favor. Danzo said, getting smiles from his fellow elders. Oh, and what are you wanting from this alliance, Danzo? Minato said, looking at Danzo, watching him carefully. Perhaps we can have some of they senjus move over here to replenish our own, seeing that our own princess has been doing her job recently. Danzo said, looking at Tsunade, who glared back him with anger. Seeing that it would extremely difficult to extract one of the cursed children from the nation without getting spotted, it would even more difficult just trying to find one that can control the giant ape form. I have no choice but to go with this alliance anyway. Sadala's is separated from us by that vast ocean anyhow. Danzo thinking of a way to harness the power of the cursed, but Sadala's location and finding one is proving more difficult to him for the time being. Maybe I'll see what they can offer in exchange. Koji, I take it you have a means to contact Sadala, Minato said. Yes I do, but it's only a button that lets them know when to pick up an infant. They didn't want me to spy on yous at all in case I was caught and the next head of general would actually kill the infants. Koji said. Wise of them on that part, Koharu said. Very well, I can see what I can do about arranging this alliance, but they might not go for the senju, and if that happens I think of something else to tempt them and try to find out what else these Saiyans can do. Minato said as he felt a ping from one of his kunais in Sadala, causing him to teleport to its location. And there he goes. Couldn't he have said that the meeting was ever before doing that? Such a drag. Shikaku said just as he said drag, Minato teleported back with Jiraiya was lightly beaten up. God damn it, sensei, I can't leave you 5 minutes alone in another nation without you getting into trouble. Minato said, looking angrily at Jiraiya. What did you do this time, pervert? Tsunade said. He was supposed to be at the inn with the team, but instead one of their shinobis threw the kunai after finding him at the hot springs. Minato said, getting a sheepish look from Jiraiya. Damn pervert, we're trying to make an alliance here but you're making it worse. Minato, take me to Sadala, maybe I can make it work. Kushina said, but saw sadness in Minato's eyes. What's the matter, Minato? She said. They have an orb that uses the hidden mist jutsu to show memories from whoever places their hand on it. When Naruto first arrived he placed his hand over it and he showed him what we did. In response to that they banished you from the clan Kushina. Minato said, but all he saw from Kushina was nothing. Kushina, he said, I would do the same thing in their position. I abandoned my belief that family is everything to an Uzumaki and I threw it away even if it meant protecting Naruto. She said, but I'm still going. She said. Minato knew it was stupid to fight her once she made her mind up. Fine, I'll take you there, but avoid Naruto. He packs a mean kick, Minato said as still felt that kick. Tell me about it, kid. Those kicks were flawless. I can see why Naruto is a prodigy over there, Jiraiya said, but suddenly felt a hand on his shoulder from Tsunade. Please, I'm not you too. I already got punched in the dick by Natsumi, I don't need another one, he said, getting a small laugh from the women in the room. Oh yeah, I forgot that my sister is a cock puncher when it comes to perverts, Kushina with a giggle. Fine then, Jiraiya, I leave you be. Minato, take me with you, I'll help with the negotiations. It'll be nice to meet some more of my family, Tsunade said, getting a nod from Minato. Chapter 7, Nation of Sadala, the Warriors Academy Courtyard. The Warriors Academy is the place to train Saiyans who are taught how to tap into their power, how to fight, live of the land if need be, and receive an education in case they wish to go down another career path other than a warrior of Sadala, as sometimes being in the military is not for everyone. In the courtyard, Naruto is practicing his kicks and punches while floating in the air while maintaining his balance, as it can be hard for the first-timers to do both. His friends looking at him noticed that he wasn't focusing as his punches became sloppy and his kicks were throwing his balance off, causing him to tumble over easily. Okay Naruto, what's wrong with you? Fasha said. Yeah, you nearly lost your balance again. That's 5 times already, Kale said. Nothing's wrong with me. Okay, Naruto said. Oh really then? Khalifa said as she launched a punch into Naruto's face, sending him to the ground. Serious, you should have tanked that blow but you fell. Now spill it or I'll send another punch, Khalifa said. Naruto knew she meant as she was more of tomboy than anyone else he knew of, but he actually liked her that way. Okay, you win. I saw my dad at the Uzumaki compound when I went back to get my homework, Naruto said, getting nervous looks from everyone. So I sneaked in and saw my dad's memories thanks to the Uzumaki orb, and it turns out. Naruto stopped as the next part he was still processing it. It turns out that it was all a part of their plan to get me somewhere safe to live out the rest of my days in peace. That's why they ignored me, that's why they banished me, and that's why my mom slapped me. It was all to make sure that I never wanted to go back there again, and I'm still processing that. Naruto finished what he said as he shed a single tear. Damn, they went that far to protect you, Gina said. So, you came back here after you saw that? If I saw that I would have kicked him for that, Khalifa said. Actually that's exactly what I did, twice, Naruto said, getting a small laugh from Khalifa. He should have seen that coming, Jin said. Yeah, anyway I think I know how to get you back to being normal again, Naruto, Khalifa said. Oh, and what's the? Naruto again didn't finish that sentence as he had to dodge the punch from Khalifa. Of course that's how. Why aren't the instructors stopping this? Naruto said as kept dodging Khalifa's kicks. Because they gave us the go-ahead for this, Jin said as she joined Khalifa in attacking Naruto, who looked at the instructors and saw smiles coming from their faces. Of course, they would, Naruto said as he kept dodging the combined attacks from Jin and Khalifa. Just as Naruto was about to launch a counter-offense, he was kicked in the stomach by Kale, launching him to Fasha, who kicked him into the ground. As Naruto got back up, he spit out some blood from mouth. The instructors, seeing this, were a bit worried, but it was for nothing as they saw a smile from Naruto showing that he was okay. 4 against 1, bad odds, but then again how else are we supposed to get stronger? Naruto said with a smile, as did his friends. Back at Konoha Council Chambers. Alright, then I head back with Tsunade and Kushina to arrange an alliance with them, Minato said, getting nods from everyone else. Remember to demand they send over the Senjus over to us, Hokage, Danzo said, getting a sigh from everyone. Danzo, I'm not going to do that, because if the other villages get wind of a sudden surge in Senjus, they might figure out that Sadala exists and they might just lead to another war. Their secrecy is what kept them safe. Minato said, getting nods from everyone. We will head over there to arrange this alliance in hopes of shared intelligence. We can't exchange people or demand them as the Uchihas, Hyugas and Senjus over there split off from us because of the clan wars and to get away from being branded. They also saved our allies the Uzumakis, who we should have been there to help them but was stopped by Iwa and Kumo. Not only that, but a lost student of mine is causing problems over at Kiri, and there's a chance that Kiri might find out about Sadala, and when that happens it would be us who first formed an alliance with them. Understood, Minato said, getting a grudging nod from Danzo. Alright then Kushina, Tsunade, get ready, I'll be heading back in an hour, Minato said. I'm going to, Makoto said, getting looks from everyone. Are you sure, Makoto? Minato said. Yes, I am sure. I can help with arranging this alliance as I have the Mangekyo Sharingan. I had it when I lost Satsuki. I have studied the techniques that goes with it. With me there we can produce a countermeasure to use on the Mizukage and possible from any other attacks from Obito as well. Makoto said, but Minato knew she wanted to see her daughter Satsuki, but then again she was an Uchiha and still is a Kunoichi of the Leaf, so maybe it would be good to send her as well. Very well, you have 1 hour. When you are ready, meet me in my office, Minato said, getting a nod from Makoto. Council dismissed. Hour later at the Hokage office. Alright, is everyone ready? Minato said, getting nods from Tsunade, Kushina and Makoto as they put their hand on his shoulder. Minato, keep an eye on our daughter. I don't want Danzo to be near here, Kushina said. Don't worry, I put a team of Anbu near her with orders to stop Danzo from getting near her, Minato said, getting a small smile as they disappeared in a flash. Nation of Sadala. Minato teleported just beside the inn where his team is staying. As he teleported, he saw Kakashi having a chat with his sister Aikika. Kakashi, how are things going since I left? Minato said. Much better now that Jiraiya left. Lady Tsunade, Lady Kushina and Lady Makoto, welcome to Sadala, Kakashi said. So this is Sadala. I take it the mountains act as the wall then, Lady Tsunade said as she saw them. Yep, The only construction they did to the mountains were the tunnels leading into the village, Kakashi said. I see, and I take it you're already chatting up the girls around here. Such a shame you don't do that at home, Kushina said, getting a laugh from Aikika and Minato except for Kakashi, who was red with embarrassment. Ha ha ha, oh, it's nothing like that, I'm his twin sister, she said, getting some shocks from the ladies. Of course I remember Tsukumo having twins, and at the time Koji would just been in charge of the hospital, and that's how you survived, Tsunade said. Correct, Lady Tsunade, Aikika said as the other ladies took a long look at her and came to one conclusion about her other than her being more muscular than them, and that was power. They could feel the power rolling off her, and this made them be on guard. I didn't know you ladies go both ways. I'm flattered, but I don't play for the other team, I'm afraid, she said, getting the ladies reel back in embarrassment except Minato, who had perverted idea in his head. No, it's not like that, both Makoto, Kushina said, getting a laugh from Tsunade. Ha ha ha, you're a laugh, also forgive me, but we haven't been properly introduced. Lady Tsunade Senju the Slug Sanin, Tsunade said. Aikika Hatake, an officer of Sadala's warriors, and your reputation already precedes you, Lady Tsunade Slug Queen, Sanin, and your skill with medical ninjutsu is beyond anyone even here in Sadala. Our skill in the field are nowhere near yours, Aikika said as she bowed in front of Tsunade, who smiled. Thank you for the compliment, and there's no need to be formal, I'm not into that respectable stuff anyhow, she said. I'll remember that in the future. For now though, I have just explained to Kakashi here that the meeting for the planned alliance will be happening tomorrow, Aikika said, getting nods from the ladies and Minato. Understandable, since we only just met yesterday, Minato said. In the meantime, can you tell me where Satsuki Uchiha is, Makoto said. I take it you're her mother. That Hokage is a lightweight if that is all it takes to bring you here, Aikika said. That is one of the reasons why I'm here, but the other reason is to sort out the Mizukage problem that is happening, Makoto said, getting a look from Aikika, who put a hand on her chin, thinking. Of course, losing your daughter will trigger the Mangekyo reaction in the Sharingan, that is if you already fully awakened the Sharingan, Aikika said, getting nod from Makoto. Just as Aikika was about to tell Makoto where Satsuki was, someone teleported near them. As they looked at the person, Aikika immediately stood straight and made her right a fist and pasted on her right chest. General, Aikika said with strength as the ladies looked at her. As they looked at the general, they immediately felt power coming off her. Stand down, Aikika. I sensed Minato coming back, so I came to check on him and see if he brought any guests with him. Really, you brought Kushina with you? I take it that kick to the head from Naruto must have scrambled your brain. Kushina, nice to meet you. I'm Mais Uchiha, general of Sadala's armada, Mais said. Kushina Uzumaki, or at least I was in Uzumaki. Is Naruto doing okay? Kushina said, getting a sigh from Mais. Yes, he is fine, and if you want to see him you must see Nat, she's his legal guardian, understand? Mais said, getting a nod from Kushina. Damn, no wonder you're a general. I can feel the power coming off you. Tsunade Senju, nice to meet you, Tsunade said as put her hand out to shake Mais' hand, which Mais did. Nice to meet you, Tsunade Senju. General Mais Uchiha, and having power is half the job, the other is having brains in how to use it, Mais said as she got a laugh from Tsunade. Ha! So very true, I knew that, all like you, Tsunade said, getting a smile of Mais. Kushina, is that you? Everyone turned to whoever said that. When they did, they someone looking like Kushina, but Kushina herself knew who she was and ran towards her and engulfed her in very tight hug that the person returned equally as well. Nat, you're alive, Kushina said as tears began to fall down. Yes, I'm alive, stupid sister. What were you thinking, banishing Naruto like? Stupid girl, Nat said as she cried equally. I wanted to protect him. I wanted to protect my little Maelstrom, Kushina cried while saying this. I know, but you should've let him know the plan, stupid girl, Nat said as she cried just as hard as Kushina. Everyone seeing this were enjoying the scene as the sisters were last together back in Uzushiogakure before the war destroyed it. Just as they were about to let go, Mais turned to Minato. I take it Jiraiya won't be coming to the tables for this alliance, Mais said. I'm afraid so. I leave him alone and he gets himself into trouble, but I did bring Lady Tsunade and Makoto Uchiha who possess the Mangekyo Sharingan to help start this alliance, Minato said. Makoto Uchiha, where did I hear that name from? Mais said as began thinking where that name was familiar. Ah, now I remember, sweet Satsuki mother, Khalifa's friend, and don't worry, in a few more hours the academy will end for the day, so when she gets back here I'll introduce you to her, Mais said with a smile. Thank you General Mais, Makoto said with polite bow. Now there's no need for that. Now then, till our kids come back you can freely explore the village apart from the restricted zones which our Anbu will let you know, and as much as I would like to help you with the tour I have other matters than require my attention, she said with a heavy sigh. Paperwork, Minato said, getting a nod from the general. I use shadow clones to help with that. I take it Saiyans don't have the ability to make clones, Minato said. No we don't, and the moment I find someone who can do that I'll ask them for the technique, Mais said as she left via teleporting. Elsewhere on another planet, Achoo, Tien sneezed loudly. Are you okay Tien? Chiaozu said. Yeah, someone must be talking about me, let's get back to training Chiaozu, Tien said. Okay, Chiaozu said. Back on planet Elam, several hours later. As the Tsunade, Makoto, Kushina along with Kakashi, Itachi, Snake and Eagle were giving a tour of the village with Nat as their guide. They were led to the shopping district where they saw some of the clothes that was high quality and wooden sculptures of the tailed beast on sale that looked absolutely real. The group asked how the village manages their economy with them being hidden from everyone, with Nat explaining that some of the Anbu pose as merchants as they leave, sealing their goods into scrolls and then unsealing them before giving it to another merchant in another country, and when it comes to the money they seal it back up and bring it home to be taxed before giving it to the people who actually made it. The group asked if the taxes was high for them but was told the taxes were actually quite reasonable despite them being hidden from everyone. As the Anbu not only help deliver the merchandise to the merchants but also collect bounties for themselves from missing nin, but they must be wearing civilian clothes so that no one knows they're from Sadala. As they were shopping they noticed some kids with headbands on sneaking in the back room in a store and leaving with a bag with Sadala's symbol on it. As the group told the shopkeeper about the theft, when the kids heard this they dropped the bag and ran off. Better luck next kids, he said with a smile as he picked up the bag and placed it on the counter. Wait, you're encouraging them to steal from you, Tsunade said as she and the group were confused. Yes and no. Those kids with the headbands are training to be shinobi, and as shinobi steal and stealth is part of the job, so the Shinobi Academy started this thing up where they give us this bag of tokens to hide in our stores and the kids come in and steal them without being caught, so they come in as a group, get the layout and find the bag and leave, then some other kid comes in and steals it. The shopkeeper said, getting the group to realize that it was practice for them when they become shinobi. Interesting, it helps them gather intel so that when someone steals it they not related to the group that came in, not bad training method, Kakashi said. Also it's a bit of fun for us since it lets us scare the crap out of them when they get caught stealing the bag. Sometimes we carry the bag on us when we leave to help them with a moving target. The academy was actually surprised that we did that and thought it was an excellent idea. I take it then that shinobis here are trained to be in the shadows while the Saiyans fight in the light, Itachi said, getting a nod from the shopkeeper. Yep. The military decided that shinobi should be trained to move in the shadows, fight in the shadows and leave in the shadows without anyone knowing they were there, the shopkeeper said. Damn, that means that when they graduate from the academy they're practically Anbu, Snake said. I wonder how the Saiyans train when they are at the academy, Eagle said. Apart from fighting one-on-one they get trained to take on multiple opponents at once so that when they are outnumbered they focus on defense and countermeasures, but they do get sent to the hospital a lot. The shopkeeper said, getting worried looks from the group. Aren't you worried in case they get killed or maimed when they do that? Tsunade asked. Don't worry about it, they got instructors there to make sure they don't get hurt too bad, but then again they do get stronger when they recover from their injuries, he said, getting some looks. What do you mean by that? Kushina said. What he means is that Saiyans have the ability to get a permanent power boost when they recover from a fight. Sometimes it's 10th of a power increase, sometimes it's far greater. Nat said. Wait a minute. So the old saying, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, Saiyans have that ability? Tsunade asked. Yep, they literally have that ability, Nat said, some serious looks. Yeah, okay, that's so unfair. Kakashi said as getting stronger from battles would be a dangerous ability as it would take humans months or even years to get stronger while Saiyans just need to get injured and just recover to get stronger. Okay, just how many Saiyans do you have here anyway? Tsunade asked. The last count we had was a few months ago, which was around over 9,000, nearly halfway at the least, Nat said, getting scared looks from everyone. Over 9,000, they said out loud. Yep, but probably a few hundred or so are not warriors, Nat said. Holy shit, and can all the warriors control the giant ape? Kakashi said. Actually, controlling the giant ape is one of the main requirements to become a warrior, Nat said, getting shocks from the group as they remembered just how hard it was for them just trying to defeat the Nine Tails who was summoned in the village, and yet there was nation with over 9,000 Saiyans that can fly and control the giant ape form that can rival a tailed beast. As they looked at each other, they realized that the balance of power between the 5 great nations was meaningless, as Sadala's power was far greater than the 5 nations combined, and that was just the warriors' side of Sadala's strength. They didn't even know how many shinobis they are, how strong they are, but guessed it was high, as they had the Hyuga's all-seeing Bukagen that can see targets kilometers away, and their chakra pathways, their deadly gentle fist and deadly reflexes. Uchiha's Sharingan that can copy any jutsu. Genjutsu's strong enough to control a tailed beast and gives its wielder increased reflexes. Senju's famed wood release that can restrain a tailed beast, and their immense skill in ninjutsu, taijutsu and genjutsu, hence the name, Senju, translates to 1,000 skills. Now they have the greatest seal masters the elemental nations have ever seen, the Uzumakis, who have immense life force giving them immense chakra, and then there's their chakra chains that can hold down a tailed beast. And that was just the 4 main clans that they saw. Who knows what other clans they are hiding in their nation. We better pray this alliance goes through, or the leaf will be destroyed in seconds with only a small force from Sadala, Kakashi said. Oh please, if they wanted to conquer the world they would have done it by now, Tsunade said, getting looks from everyone. They don't need to. Let's face it, we had 3 great shinobi wars. Why bother attacking us when we're already attacking each other? All they need to do is sit back and think how easy it will be for them to come over and take everything once we're all dead. Tsunade said, getting sighs from everyone. Yeah, good point. We really do make it easy for them after all, Makoto said as Shinobi appeared in front of her. Lady Makoto, forgive the intrusion, but I've been sent to inform you that Satsuki has just returned from the academy and is waiting at the Uchiha compound for you, the shinobi said as he disappeared. It's time, it's finally time, Makoto said as she was getting nervous, and not only her but Itachi as well. Follow me, I'll lead you to the compound, Nat said, getting nods from everyone. The Uchiha compound. Why am I waiting here? Satsuki said. Someone is coming here to see you, said Yui, who was Satsuki guardian since she was brought to Sadala from Konoha. Who are they? Satsuki asked. They are your mother Makoto Uchiha and your older brother Itachi Uchiha, Yui said with a smile. Wait a second, my mom is here in Sadala, Satsuki said as she was surprised. Does Itachi have a duck's butt for hair like Sasuke? Khalifa said as Yui asked her to be there to help Satsuki when they arrive. No, I don't have little Sasuke's hair, and I now just realized that it does look like a duck's butt, said Itachi with a little giggle as he realized that Sasuke's hair does look like a duck's butt. Satsuki turned to see Itachi and Makoto standing at the gate. She immediately hid behind Khalifa as she was nervous. Hi, what's the big idea, Satsuki? Why are you hiding behind me and not Yui? She said. Sorry, you're closer, Khalifa, she said as looked over Khalifa's shoulder, seeing the older woman who looked like her, only older, who holding back tears at seeing here. She looks like mother, and she's nervous, that's so cute, Itachi thinking to herself. Oh my god, she's a little mini me, Makoto thinking to herself as she began tearing herself up. The family only looked at each other for several minutes before Yui suggested an idea. Come on Satsuki, say hello, she said, but Satsuki was too nervous to do that, but thankfully Yui saw this happen, and that's why she asked Khalifa to stay with her. Okay, I'm done hiding you from them, Khalifa said as she took a step closer to them. Wait, Khalifa, don't move, Satsuki said, who moved a step closer to them while still hiding behind Khalifa, who moved a step closer to them. Don't move, Khalifa. What if they don't like me, she said. Oh please look at them, they practically going to cry tears of joy, Khalifa said as she was only a couple of feet away from Makoto, who realized what Khalifa was doing and opened her arms readying for what was about to happen. And lastly, the final push, Khalifa said as she teleported behind Satsuki and pushed her into Makoto's arms, who picked her in a loving hug while crying. "My Satsuki, my sweet Satsuki," Makoto said as Satsuki felt embarrassed by this but felt something deep inside her telling her it was okay and that she was safe. "Mom. Mom," Satsuki said as she returned the loving hug back to Makoto. She then felt a hand on the back of her head and saw Itachi smiling at her with a tear down his face. "Brother," she said as she reached out to him as well, only to get poked in the head with 2 fingers from Itachi, who had a smile on his face. "Isn't that lovely, Khalifa?" Yui said as she looked the reunited family but saw Khalifa turning her back away instead. "Oh, is that a tears I see, Khalifa?" Yui said with a smile. "No, I got something in my eye is all," Khalifa said as she was too tomboyish for the love scene. Thank you for watching, guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe.